really pedo gay, okay?
You're a pervert.
I've been called worse by better.
Today?
Well, give me 5 minutes and I can probably come up with a few more.
Alright, I have to read how to level up.
Yeah. Run and grab my shit. Oh, wait. No one actually mentioned what their upgrade is going to be, did they? Their, like, subclass. I mean, I don't
Not
have
yet.
one because I get it level 1. But y'all have to pick a subclass because we're leveling up today.
Yes, you should all be level 3, but we haven't actually done that yet.
We've got Carla's written down. Oh, thank God. That damage just slurped right off me. I was terrified of that. Be right back. I'm getting my book.
For Carla, their barbarian has quite a few different flavors. Do you want to go heavy combat, a little spiritual? Like, what flavor do you want for your barbarian?
I had it somewhere. I think I chose... Was it Totem Warrior? I can't remember. Hold on. I have it somewhere here.
She chose one with divine power, which is amazing.
Oh, wait. Is it Path of the Zealot? Is that what I think? Yeah.
Path of the Zealot?
Ah, did I say that wrong? Yes.
Yeah, it's Zealot.
Yes, that one.
What is that from?
I don't know, I just have a printout that Dom gave me.
That sounds like a...
Which book is that from? Xanathars?
Xanathars or Path of the Zealot, yeah, Xanathars.
Xanathars.
Yes, Path of the Zealot.
I used to call them Z-Lots.
Starting when you choose this path at 3rd level, you can channel Divine Fury into your weapon strikes. While you are raging, the first creature you hit on each of your turns with a weapon attack takes extra damage equal to 1d6 plus half your barbarian levels. The extra damage is necrotic or radiant. You choose the type of damage when you gain this feature. That's
Radiant.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that being said, you know, I mean, you guys have been... You were a brave adventuring party, you know, heading towards the city of Flan to defeat Vargan Shorax, the maimed virulence, and along the way, the mists of Ravenloft have kidnapped you all and deposited you in the lands of Barovia, of which you were also in a village of the same namesake. You have survived a haunted house, aforementioned, called the Death House. You have defeated its beast in its basement and broken its curse for now. However, you did succeed in setting free the spirits of the 2 captive children so that they might move on beyond this wretched and horrible realm. So with that in mind, is your character resisting the powers of this dark land, clinging to that hope from the Forgotten Realms, or are you giving in to the dark powers of this place to see what offers it has, what power it can give you? AKA, do you want to choose necrotic damage, which is like a dark, evil, rotting damage, or do you want to use radiant damage, which is a burning, holy damage?
Radiant damage.
Okay. It's going to take me a second because I'm going to add some modifiers to your attacks for you.
Okay.
So also at 3rd level, your soul is marked for endless battle. If a spell such as Raise Dead has the sole effect of restoring you to life but not undeath, the caster does not need material components to cast the spell on you. So give me a moment to think about that while I'm helping everybody else, and we'll do a bit of a vision that you have as you run from that house.
Yeah, let's go.
Yo.
Zalkin Talfellow, what do you want for your 3rd level path?
Reading all 3 right now. It's looking. I'm thinking probably.
You're thinking probably what?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm just gonna choose. I'm going with Thief.
Is it just me that gets like him cut off right when he's about to say what it is?
No,
Okay.
it's not just you. It's all of us. So.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah, you're going to say I'm going to pick that, and then it just cuts right off. We have no idea what you're saying.
That's fucking okay. I'm gonna be the Thief.
Okay, good choice.
All right.
You slimy, thieving scum mollusk.
So you've also got an ability called Fast Hands now. So here's the cool thing about what that ability does. You know your cunning action, where you can dash, you can go defensive, or you can whatchamacallit, do the other thingy. Pretty much where you use your bonus action to do to hide, right? So you can hide, you can dash, or you can go defensive and kind of get away from people without provoking attacks of opportunity. Now you can also use Fast Hands, where you can use that bonus action to do the use an item action. And what that means is things like quaffing a potion are now a bonus action for you if you have that available. Certain magical items will become incredibly useful for you. Especially ones that just have a simple trigger of some sorts, like a command word or something like that. However, any item that casts a spell still utilizes whatever casting time that spell normally had, if the item specifically says that. But we can go over that as magic items become more plentifully available. But effectively, as you get access to potions of healing, you're going to be able to get yourself out of a bind very, very quickly with that.
Sweet.
You also have second story work, which makes you incredibly good at climbing and getting around quickly. So that will come in very handy for reconnaissance for the party.
Right.
Arid Torem. You already have your domain, so we're just going to go ahead and tack on that 3rd level of cleric for you.
And I get to pick my sexy spells.
Yes.
Here's the question, do I want to inflict wounds, or do I want to provide aid for my party?
So here's the fun part. You get every spell. It's a matter of which ones you prepare.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
I should probably prepare aid. Your spell bolsters your allies with toughness and resolve. Choose up to 3 creatures within range. Each target's hit points. Maximum and current hit points increased by 5 for the duration. And it lasts 8 hours. And again, 3d10 of necrotic damage sounds so appealing.
Never did use the silver sword.
Oh.
Fair.
Okay, and then let me make sure your domain spells are good. You're the light domain, right?
I am.
All about setting things on fire.
Oh yeah, I got Flaming Sphere and Scorching Ray now.
Those are always prepared.
Yay! Yep.
Oh
forget this
god.
then. I got fire coming out of every orifice now, so I just need some more healing pointeroonies for my compadres.
Wait, which fire spell has fire coming out of your nostril?
I'm gonna throw you a curveball and say Burning Hands.
I feel like that's not true.
Just believe me.
Okay, I've added the spells. So you do switch your mode from standard to prepare or preparation, and there you go. And now you can scroll down and select the spells that you want to prepare. Remember, it is your cleric level plus your wisdom modifier. So right now you have 6 spells that you can prepare.
Oh, yes.
Berlioz.
Sorcerers don't have a domain at 3rd level. They choose theirs at the beginning.
True, but you get meta magic.
Oh yeah, I do have to choose that, don't I? At this point, don't I?
You get 2 meta magic options of your choice that you can spend sorcery points on. Makes your casting incredibly versatile. So go ahead and scroll through. If you go to your features, you'll see meta magic on there, and just bring it up, scroll through, and figure out which 2 you want, and we'll figure that out from there.
Just to butt in for a second, last session, or a couple of sessions back, I got a scroll for spiritual weapon. Does that mean I must still prepare it? Or does it count as one of my pre-prepared, like not requiring of preparation? Because
So
I
the way
have it written
scrolls
down.
work, think of scrolls as the spell fully prepared and just ready to go. And so what would happen is you would unfurl the scroll and you would use your standard action to what's called use an item, and you would read from the scroll, and the spell would cast without exhausting any of your spells. The scroll itself would then become an empty piece of parchment, and the spiritual weapon spell would thus be cast.
Gotcha.
Hey Jeremy. Oh.
Yeah.
If I'm reading Fast Hands right, it says I can make a dexterity sleight of hand check. So does that mean like if I run up and stab a dude, I can attempt to pickpocket him at the same time?
Let's take a look. That sounds like a good question. So yeah, no, absolutely. You can do a sleight of hand check as a bonus action during combat. So you could totally attempt to pickpocket somebody. You could use your thieves' tools to disarm a trap or open a lock, or take the use an object action. So any one of those, a bonus action.
We're all getting these sexy power-ups and watch, we're all gonna die.
Hey Jeremy, how do we put? It'll be subtle spell and twin spell for my meta magic.
Subtle spell and twin spell. Okay, one moment. Okay, so I've added 2 features so you can quickly reference them for Subtle Spell and Twin Spell. Mechanically, we just utilize the interface for that, and that's perfectly fine. Now, do understand that Twin Spell has to be a spell that only targets a single creature. It cannot be an area of effect spell. It can't be Magic Missile or Scorching Ray, because those have the options of targeting multiple creatures. But it could be like...
Yeah, no, I know. The only thing I can use it on right now is like my cantrip spells, I think, because maybe Witching Bolt, but
Witch Bolt,
that's the concentration. Really? I thought it had to be instant.
1 second. When you cast a spell that targets only one creature and doesn't have a range of self, you can spend a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level to target a second creature in range with the same spell. To be eligible for a Twin Spell, the spell must be incapable of targeting more than one creature at the spell's current level. Nothing in here says the spell has to be instant, so you could absolutely do Witch Bolt.
That is awesome. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So my domain spells that don't cost a spell slot, how would you feel about me casting them at a higher level?
There is nothing wrong with that at all. That is well within the rules. Just remember, it uses your spell.
Good.
It's like, no, tell me how you really feel.
Well, I feel like I'm going for burning everything. Yeah, at level 6, my pocket's sunshine. I can throw it for other people too. I like the idea of someone getting attacked and me reaching into my pocket and throwing a little ray of sunshine at someone's eyes from 30 feet away.
Not really throwing anymore.
Hurling. Firing. What else do you want me to say?
Fair.
You'll be thanking me when I save you with pocket sunshine.
Okay, so I just shared the map of the village of Barovia with you. If you guys notice, you'll see a $ token on there. And that's the house you guys have just vacated yourselves from rather expediently. Ekris, as you were running through the house, as the walls were shaking and falling apart, or pendulums you swore were swinging at you, and as every blade between the doors and walls swung at you, you heard the sounds of battle off in the background, and at one point you found yourself on a battlefield, waging through countless enemies as far as the eye could see and well beyond. You were in some sort of eternal battlefield, and within that battlefield you saw 2 colossal beings fighting. One was a tall, lengthy, fair-skinned individual whose skin seemed to be alabaster white, with ears long and pointed, and hair like sunlight pouring off of his head and then streaming down his shoulders. And across from him was a massive, powerfully muscled orc with a single eye, and nothing but hatred burning in that eye towards that large celestial elven being, and the two of them seemed to be fighting. And just something in that battle triggered this hunger, this rage inside of you. And you feel now that you can kind of tap in to that fury, that rage. It seems to burn through your veins as if it's a part of who you are. You're not sure exactly what the vision means necessarily, but often with visions, their meaning becomes more apparent much later on.
Hmm. Okay.
But as you guys vacate the house, you do realize that your wayward returned companion, the bard, seems to be missing. But right now is not the time to dwell on such things, for the mists still encircle the village, and an eerie sense of silence just kind of permeates all around you until a scream somewhere far off in the distance breaks that silence. And then all is quiet again. You guys are left to your own devices here in the middle of the street.
Do I get a sense of where that scream may have been coming from?
Somewhere deeper in the village.
General direction.
We should probably investigate and see where that scream came from. Maybe not enter many houses without knowing what's in them first. Or at least try and find someone who is alive and then make sure they're alive this time.
Well, let's not go into the house. I don't know. Peer through the windows.
In what direction would you guys like to go?
South. Yeah. Go south.
Yeah, eastardly seems to be probably the direction we came from, I guess. But yeah, south, deeper into the town would probably be the best bet.
Yep.
So heading south, you come to the crossroads, and sure enough, east is the direction you came from. So maybe heading west to go deeper into the village.
Should we explore the outskirts, or should we just go straight for the middle?
I'd suggest knowing exactly how much town we have to work with in case we have to make a quick getaway. So let's explore the outskirts first before we just run in and get killed.
Again.
I agree with that.
So you guys are able to circle the outskirts a little bit, kind of getting a sense or a feel for this town. It's not that big. You definitely have dealt with much larger. The Moonsea region you guys came from has large settlements, such as a town called Hillsfar. You're used to a lot of farms and little mini villages sprouting up, and this kind of reminds you of some of those mini villages. However, the houses are old and large and tall and loom over everything. You guys eventually come to an actual rather nice looking manor at the southern point of it, but the gate of it is closed, and it looks like something has savagely been attacking that house. Like, there are claw marks all over the walls. The windows are boarded up. You know, you're like, this should be a pristine, gorgeous-looking manor, and instead it looks more like a damn asylum. Not that the rest of the buildings nearby do much better to calm those fears, for a lot of the other buildings are boarded up and quiet and still.
Well, this place looks like it's at least tried to stave off some kind of an attack. Maybe there's survivors in there? Should we take a close look at this place, or just keep going inwards to the town?
Who's to say where the scream comes from here? So.
That's a good point.
And at that, a scream echoes to the north.
No.
I guess that's to say.
Well then.
Let's investigate the mansion.
Investigate the mansion, not the scream. Shouldn't we say
that?
What was that?
I said that works. Let's examine the mansion. Good stuff should be in there.
Good point. Let's go get money.
Okie dokie. Get a little closer to the mansion then. See if there's an entranceway that's not littered with claw marks.
The wary-looking mansion squats behind a rusting iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. The right gate, at this point, close enough, looks cast aside, while the left gate swings lazily in the wind. The stuttering squeal and clang of the gate repeats with mindless precision. Weeds choke the grounds and press with menace upon the house itself. Yet against the walls, the grass has been trampled down to create a path all about the domain. Heavy claw marks having stripped the once beautiful finish of the walls. Great black marks tell of the fires that have assailed the mansion. Not a pane nor a shard of glass stands in any window. All the windows are barred with planks, each one marked with stains of evil omen.
Yeah, it looks like the last one, but worse.
Oh, there's no ghosts beckoning us in this time.
Go ahead and roll me perception checks, everybody, and go and use the dice tower, please.
Okie dokie.
So far, I'm only seeing 2 of you did that. Yeah, Chris?
Oh, I didn't go through?
No.
Let me try that again.
There we go. Okay. So, half of you made it, so we'll go with that. So you guys are able to figure out that the trampled weeds all around the mansion, amongst them are scores of wolf paw prints and human footprints. Most of the human footprints are weird. Like, they're... Like, normally, you know, you're seeing footprints, and obviously you don't expect to truly see side by side. You expect to see the normal gait of a regular walking person. A lot of these footprints drag or seem to have stepped weird, so it's kind of odd.
Might have to be wary of people.
But you guys are able to come up to the large set of doors that enter the place, but they are currently closed.
I might as well see if we can heave the thing open.
As you push against the doors, they do not budge.
Do we have a rogue, or do we have to use the barbarian toolkit?
Barbarian toolkit.
Well, I was gonna say check to see if there's a lock.
You check to see if it's locked. Okay. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
You got this, Zalkin. Open it up for us.
Nice roll. Okay, so pretty much as you're checking out the doors, and kind of looking through the keyhole, checking between it, tugging on the doors a little bit, just some subtle bit here and there, you do come to the conclusion that it is barred from the inside. So there is someone within this manor who has barred the door to prevent, obviously, whoever's been attacking it from getting within.
Before we use the barbarian-shaped key, it might be worth just kind of trying to get the attention of the person in here.
Should we try knocking?
I believe that's what Arid just said.
Let's not.
Alright.
Although I'm really loving the whole barbarian-shaped key comment.
It's barbarian toolkit or thieves toolkit, which would be the axe. Okay, it's a wooden door.
You Swiss Army barbarian.
Bust that shit open.
All right, so you knock on the doors, and actually, very quickly afterwards, you hear a faint female voice from within going, "Who is it? What do you want?"
Avon calling, and if I want, or if you want, I'll do a charisma roll to see if they'll humor it.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check, please. And for the sake of role-playing, I would ask that you not do an Avon calling, because what is Avon?
It's that, you've never heard of Avon?
Well, apparently I did use Avon calling, so it's only a 10.
No, 10's Amway. Totally Amway. So with your 10, I mean, 10's an average check. Like, that's someone who's at least decent at talking in public. So what do you say to her exactly?
Madam, we are heroes, and we want to see if we can help you.
She's, I am sorry, but I don't think you're going to be able to help me. I would ask that you please go away before the creatures return tonight. It'd be best that you are not outdoors when the sun sets.
How about I try to persuade her?
You're more than welcome to try.
I got damn it.
What do you say?
We just came from the nearby house and we killed one of those monsters. We believe we would be able to protect you.
I've heard people refer to monsters by many different terms. I don't know who you've murdered amongst my neighbors, but please go away.
Let's go.
Alrighty.
Let me have a dig at this.
Ooh, what do you say with your unnatural 20?
Milady, I'm a cleric of Lathander. My friends and I have defeated nothing but pure evil. Please allow us to help you defeat the same.
You're a cleric of who?
The great Light Lord Lathander.
Light Lord. You worship the Morning Lord?
Indeed, I do.
So you are not... By all that is light, please do not be agents of the beast. And you hear the sound of the heavy wooden bar being lifted from the doors, and they open up.
I smugly puff out my chest and move Zolkin and Berlioz aside and step forward.
I take something from him.
Nice. Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check, please.
You can be really upset when you get pocket sunshine.
Arid, go ahead and roll me a perception check. You may roll it openly, please. You do not need to use the dice tower.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Nice. So you watch as he snags one of your crossbow bolts out of your quiver.
Mine.
You know what? I notice, and I just hand him the crossbow bolt. You need it more than I do.
Nice.
Damn right.
So, the woman greets you, and bids you enter. The interior of the mansion is well furnished, yet the fixtures show signs of great wear. Noticeable oddities are boarded up windows and the presence of holy symbols in every room. The burgomaster is in a... so pretty much there's a simple wooden coffin surrounded by wilting flowers and the faint odor of decay. The woman introduces herself. She says, I am Irina Koliana. Now, you guys all have a note somewhere on one of you that you guys found from the dead messenger, and the name Irina was the name the burgomaster had put for the name of his daughter that the foul vampire Strahd was assaulting. You are warriors of light who have come to vanquish the evil.
Yes, we are. We stumbled upon here purely by accident, but we will vanquish evil wherever we see it.
I asked her how long she's been here.
We've been suffering the attacks for days upon days. I've lost count. Twice now I have fallen victim to this beast. One more time and I am doomed. And so all of the villagers are avoiding me. Everyone is afraid of me save my brother. And even now, he drinks his sorrows away. My father, couldn't stand the stress of the attacks. Although we've kept them at bay these last weeks. About 3 days ago, his heart gave out and he passed. And she gestures to the coffin.
Console her.
I can perform last rites on the body if you'd wish.
She goes, that is some solace, although what I truly need is my father's body delivered to the church so that it can be buried properly.
Where is this church?
It is at the northern end of the village. You can't miss it. If you follow the main road up from here, you'll come to the center of the town. It curves slightly to the west, but you'll see the church well before then.
How many hours roughly until sunset?
So from what you guessed, I mean, as best as you can tell from this place, because those mists seem to obscure everything, you would guess you probably have quite a good 4 hours, maybe 3 at the least before sunset. So that's a pretty decent amount of time. I mean, as long as there's a cart you can use to take that coffin, you should be able to make good enough time to the church and back again.
Do you have any way of transporting this coffin? We'd be more than happy to take it with you.
Because I have a cart.
Ask her about the creatures that are assailing her.
Yeah, minions of the
you can
Devil
ask her.
Strahd.
The Devil Strahd has been attacking you?
He seems fixed on me above all else, and I do not know why. But he is obsessed, and once he's obsessed with something, he will not let it go.
We should probably leave her here.
I will stay here within the safety of this house. I dare not leave. He cannot enter unwelcome.
That's good to know.
Ask her if she has anything that might help us.
You all seem the capable sort. She goes, I have a cart to put the coffin upon. Just deliver it to Danovich. He's the prior within the church.
Persuasion time.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, I mean,
Looking around, you can tell she doesn't really have much of anything. Like, she's in a desperate position. She's not really in a situation to offer any aid. Although she seems brave, you can see the look of terror behind her eyes. But just this small kindness of delivering her father's body safely to the church would probably help ease her stress quite a bit.
never mind.
Who has that note in their inventory? I don't have it in mine. I want to read it again.
I'll find it here in a moment. So do you kind of, as the cart's getting loaded up, do you kind of look at the note and reread it?
Yeah. Because if Brother is drinking himself stupid and Papa's dead, I want to know who gave us the note. I know it was a corpse. I just want to know whose hand signed it.
Did everybody see that on the map?
No. I had Irina in front of me. What was it? Oh, I see.
There's the letter for you.
Burgomaster, my adopted daughter.
So you start reading the letter, and are you saying this out loud or to yourself?
I'm saying this out loud.
She kind of walks over and she says, "What is that you are reading?"
This is a letter with your name upon it, and we found it on a corpse on our way into the town. I performed last rites on the corpse.
She says, "May I see this note, please?"
Certainly. I hand her the note.
So she kind of reads through it, and you can see her face kind of pale a little bit as she does so. She says, "This note is accurate, but this is not my father's handwriting."
And you're saying your father is the man in this coffin?
Yes, my father is Kolyan Indirovich, the burgomaster, or former burgomaster of Barovia.
Are you implying this is a false written letter with accurate information?
Yes, and there is only one who would have access to this information. One who would draw you here to toy with all of this.
So the devil has lured us in himself.
That is an appropriate metaphor.
Damn it.
That's just not good.
Bum, bum,
It is
bum.
best not to dwell on it for now, but please, time is of the essence. Please deliver my father's body, and then return here for safety, and we will bar this place and weather the evening.
We will do. Stay safe.
I
And
will.
you say that the devil cannot enter this place because you have barred him from coming in.
He must be invited to enter a house. He cannot do so otherwise. And obviously we have barricaded this place against him.
Would you be safer in the church, maybe?
I would simply endanger Prior Donovich, and I cannot bring myself to do that. He has suffered enough as it is.
I say we set out.
Before we go, would Tridonovich recognize your handwriting?
Yes, and she quickly scribes a note, but she also says he will recognize my father's body in the coffin. He will know what to do.
Just to make sure that he provides us entrance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smart.
So you guys grab the cart and make your way across the town. Do you guys stop anywhere to look, or do you make a beeline straight for the church?
I say straight to the church
Drop off the
before it
cart.
gets dark outside.
I kind of agree, but might be keeping our eye out for things that might be odd that we could come back to later.
When we don't have the cart to work.
So you guys do eventually come to the center of town, so there are two buildings that will draw your attention. The first one is the building immediately on the right of the token. There's sparse light from that building spilling out from behind drawn heavy curtains, but there's a sign over the door creaking on its hinges that reads, Bildrath's Mercantile. So being as a mercantile means there might be hope of finding supplies should you need it.
Let's make a note of that location.
Yeah, on the way back, probably stop in there.
A single shaft of light thrusts illumination into the main square, its brightness looking like a solid pillar in the heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway, a sign hangs precariously askew, proclaiming this to be the Blood on the Vine Tavern.
And is this the most quiet tavern we've ever heard of or seen?
Yeah, absolutely. Quiet as a grave. But it is lit, so there is that. And on that note, you guys are able to continue on your way to the church.
Do any of the other buildings have light at all?
No.
we arrive?
Atop a slight rise against the roots of the pillar stone that supports Castle Ravenloft stands a gray, sagging edifice of stone and wood. This church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil for centuries on end and is worn and weary. A bell tower rises towards the back, and flickering light shines through holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load.
Looks like we made it.
I've seen filthier churches in my time, but I've definitely seen better as well.
Well, let's find the pastor and let him know about.
So, as you guys approach the church, you notice that the heavy wooden doors of the church are covered with claw marks and scarred by fire. Kind of reminds you of what you went through before. However, the doors are not locked, and you are able to open them and head straight in.
Upon entering, I'll do some kind of little prayer, some symbol of, not a crucifix, I kind of ended up being Jesus, but something similar.
The doors open to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall leading to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew. 4 doors, 2 on each side of the hall, lead to adjacent chambers. You can see that the chapel is strewn with debris, and you hear a soft voice from within reciting a prayer. Suddenly, the prayer is blotted out by an inhuman scream that rises up from beneath the wooden floor, and you realize in horror that this is the scream you've been hearing interrupt the silence of the village.
Awesome.
And with that, it is silent again, other than the slow muttering prayer coming from within the church.
Knock on a door.
Yeah, just knock on the open door that we just barged through.
No, there's like there's 2 rooms to our left. Is the prayer coming from that, or is it coming from?
No, the prayer is coming from the main chamber.
All right, we'll clear our throats and excuse ourselves or something to interrupt the guy.
Okay, move your tokens up to the entrance to the main area, please.
Where's she going?
The chapel is in shambles, with overturned and broken pews littering the dusty floor. Dozens of candles mounted in candlesticks and candelabras light every dusty corner in a fervent attempt to rid the chapel of shadows. At the far end of the church sits a claw-scarred altar, behind which kneels a priest in soiled vestments. Next to him hangs a long, thick rope that stretches up into the bell tower. As you step forward to clear your throat, that sound is immediately interrupted. From beneath the chapel floor, you hear a young man's voice crying out, "Father, I'm starving!"
Should we ask the priest what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
So
Do we need to ask the priest what's going on? I've seen The Walking Dead. We all know what's going to happen.
Just fireball him now.
he looks up at you, obviously hearing you all act a bit startled. He says, "Oh, I have guests." And he kind of stands up and kind of brushes his robes a little bit, and he says, What can I do for you? I am Prior Donovich.
Ask him what the hell happened here.
The what's the woman's name? Alana. The burgomaster's corpse or body is in a cart, ready to be interred. Is that something you can handle?
You've come to bring the burgomaster's body. The poor soul. The poor soul. Obviously, you can see he's stressed out beyond belief, but he says, "First thing in the morning, I will inter it." He kind of looks at the four of you and says, "I know she was obviously put this weight upon you to bring the body here, and I will keep it here in one of the side chambers overnight. But could I trouble you all with a favor? And first thing in the morning, if you could come and help me bury the body. I will need assistance digging the grave."
What's with the screaming downstairs?
Yeah.
He kind of looks troubled. He's like, "That is my son, Doru."
And you're not feeding him?
Not what he craves.
Has Dory been visited by the devil?
The devil that came to take my son was a black-robed maniac. He came whispering and shouting promises that he would rid us of the devil Strahd. And so many went with him, including my Doru. And of course, like all things that challenge the lord of this land, that madman lost, and my Doru was killed. But like so many torments and punishments, he came back.
Shit.
Did your son do all of this?
It was difficult to get him trapped below. I will find a way to cure him. I will end this nightmare.
How long has he been like that?
I don't know, maybe a month.
Would you like us to put him to rest?
No, I will find a way to cure him, and I do not misunderstand. I appreciate the offer of help, but this is a nightmare, and I will wake from it, and I will have my son back. He's all I have.
You said it yourself that he has died.
No, he has been cursed. And like all curses, it can be broken. We may not know a way now, but I will find a way. I'm sure the Morning Lord himself will guide me when I am worthy. In the meantime, more immediate concerns should worry you. If you are helping young Irina, she's actually in danger, more so than I am. I will keep my son barred below, but she is currently being stalked by that devil.
Fair enough.
We will be heading back to her place to guard her for the evening.
And I'm thankful for that, although I worry that her manor is not going to hold up for too long. The only place safe in all of the lands for her is either the Abbey or Vallaki. But the trip there would be incredibly dangerous, so for now, we do what we can, and then I'm thankful.
Alright. I said we return.
Yeah, let's head back.
Wanna check out that mercantile chat.
As you guys turn to leave, you feel clawing on the floor beneath your feet. You hear this, I can smell you. Please stay.
Don't worry, little one. We'll be back.
It's a hell of a proposition.
And you guys leave the church.
So I do look over at Ekris after I did mumble and giant. So you don't speak giant, and am I the only one who thinks that we need to kill both of them?
I don't know about both of them, but I say the one.
We could try to convince the father, but he seems pretty set.
That's the problem. He'll do anything for his son.
Doesn't seem to be a problem so far.
So you guys have this bit of a discussion as you make your way back to the burgomaster's manor, and as you're doing so, you're kind of like watching the twilight sunlight kind of disappear, and so you're able to make haste and get back. When you do, however, she is no longer alone.
Who's that?
Another individual is with her, and he introduces himself as she lets you guys in. He says, "Ah, these are the guests who have taken our dear departed father to be interred. Greetings, I am Ismark the Lesser, son of the former burgomaster."
So you're Irina's brother.
I am Irina's brother, yes, indeed, and she has told me of this great service you have done for us, and I cannot thank you enough. When is the priest going to be able to bury our father?
Tomorrow morning.
Good. I will travel there and help him.
Ask if they know about the priest's son in the basement.
I was going to say, don't travel there without us.
What?
Explain to them the entire situation.
I can explain it to them. You explain it to them.
There's levels of creepy going on that are a little bit beyond your normal levels of creepy around here.
And he kind of smirks as you say that and goes, "Oh, please do tell."
Alright. The priest's son apparently died.
Yes, he was one of many of the villagers that were bullocked by that idiot mage, and they went to assault the castle.
Well, his son apparently came back, and now he's got him chained up in his basement.
So Ismark turns super pale at that, and he's like, "Oh, by all that is holy, that monster sent his son back to torment him. That is vile."
That's what we said.
He's desperately hoping for some kind of cure for his ailment.
Desperate is probably a good word for it, but Donovich is... he's the last ray of hope we have at this village. If he breaks, we all break. So, as horrible as it sounds, it's probably best we leave it be for now.
May the Morning Lord give him strength.
Indeed. My sister tells me you are a priest of the Morning Lord.
I am.
That is good to hear. More light needs to be brought into this dark realm. Listen, let me show you all to your rooms for the evening. And there shouldn't be any issues this evening. Understand that since our father died, the attacks upon the manor have ceased. But just to be on the safe side, I am very thankful you gentlemen are here. And sorry, my lady, as he kind of gestures at Ekris. And then kind of looks quizzically at her and says, I I've never seen one with features as strong as yours.
Eat them.
Eat him. Oh gosh.
And so he looks down at Zalkin and says, "And your child here has such an interesting wit."
Your child.
Oh, oh, really? All right, that's cool.
He looks like kind of shocked. He goes, "I'm so sorry, my lord. I did not realize you were a midget. Oh my goodness, please excuse my rudeness."
Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
We should head to bed, my child. I mean, my children. You're all my children. I just realised how pervy that sounds.
Yes, it
Yes, it does.
Every
right.
time.
So he shows you all to your rooms, and they are quite comfortable. I mean, this is a manor of the Barovian burgomaster. This house has been in their family for generations, and they are a little well off despite all of the wreckage outside and the shattered glass and windows. But otherwise, they have comfortable beds, decent accommodations, and lots of oil lamps everywhere, and holy symbols on like every wall, on almost every board. It's a little crazy.
I take it I'm in somewhat of a heavenly area, so I'm jittery with giddiness at the sight of my holy symbols being everywhere.
But either way, sleep does not come easy for you all. There's just this sense of dread being in this place. Ever since you've been in this land, you have been assaulted. You've been trapped inside of a house for the last 3 days that was trying to kill you. Now you're inside one where the outside may try to kill you. It's not really helping too much. And so most of you are up pretty late. What I would like you all to do is roll me a... We'll go with... I'm going to allow you to roll me either wisdom or charisma. Your choice, but it's a saving throw.
Wait, how do I throw it as a saving throw?
On the right side of your main tab, there's saves. I guess you just throw it from there.
Oh. Well, shit.
Alright.
Okay, so... Zalkin, you're the only one who can't sleep. Everybody else is able to get themselves to pass out. So as you sit that evening, there's something that draws your attention, and so you kind of look between the boards of the window you're on. You're on like the second floor of this manor, and what you see is there is an eerie green light that suffuses the graveyard from the other side of the village. From this light emerges a ghostly procession, wavering images of doughty women toting great swords, woodwise men with slender bows, dwarves with glittering axes, and archaically dressed mages with beards and strange pointed hats. All these and more march forth from the graveyard, their numbers growing by the second, as you see them flow down the road of the village and towards the castle on the hill.
I'm gonna wake up my good friend Arid and tell him to look out the window. Oh wait, no, he can't see.
So you wake him up anyway, just because like you forget, that his eyes melted out of his head and that he sees in complete darkness now. Arid, as he wakes you up and you're like, there's no way I'd be able to... You're not even looking out the window. You're still sitting in your bed. And you can see the ghosts, and you can see the river of them flowing out of the village as they make their way towards the castle.
Okay.
And you, just looking at them all, it comes to a haunting realization that these are not the spirits of people buried here, but these are the spirits of all the previous adventurers who have died trying to destroy Strahd. And every night, the ghostly spirits attempt to complete their quest, and every night they fail.
I'm going to lie to my good friend Zalkin and say, I don't see anything. You're probably seeing things.
I need you to roll me a deception check, please. And Zelkin, you may roll an insight check.
God. Alright.
I would like both of you to roll those into the dice tower.
Insight?
Why did it have to be deception?
There we go.
So as Arid tells you this, it's like you can kind of see the trembling in his hands. You can hear his voice and the stuttering of it as he tries to spit those words out. And you realize that he's blind and hasn't even walked up to the window. And you watch the blood drain from his face.
I call his bullshit and ask him why he's scared.
On account of, I think, they're the adventurers who went to go and fight Strahd and didn't quite make it.
Look, that's completely irrelevant to our current situation. We will be better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And you're up the remainder of the evening, because fuck a bunch of that.
You Zalkin.
We play cards. How's that?
There you go. So,
Oh, blind man! Scumbag!
Hey, I mean, yes. I mean, I would actually rather look to steal something from Mr. Midget Man.
we're going to fast forward a little bit so we can move to the next day. You guys assist Ismark in heading back to the church. The church, the cemetery itself, when you approach it, you see a fence of wrought iron with a rusty gate that encloses a rectangular plot of land behind the dilapidated church. Tightly packed gravestones, shrouded by fog, bear the names of souls long past. But, thankfully, all seems quiet. This is a still and peaceful place. And like all bad stories with the dead, the cemetery is usually actually the safest place to be. And you guys are able to dig the hole, lower the casket within, and bury it as Donovich performs the rituals of this culture in burying and interring the dead. It's a solemn experience. You don't know the man that's being buried, but you know he was desperate to save his daughter, desperate to get away from the tyrannical yoke of Lord Strahd von Zarovich. So, at least this guy gets to rest. Don't pity the dead. It is the living that you must worry about. So, at that, Ismark looks to you guys once all is said and done, and he has a determined look on his face now. And he says, I know this place is going to ask much of you, but I don't care. I'm going to put my burden on you anyway. You all look capable, probably the most capable people I've seen. Escort me and my sister to Vallaki.
I've been told that's a dangerous, dangerous path. Can you tell me what we have in store on the way to Vallaki?
So first off, understand that that house is delaying the inevitable. It's not a matter of if, but when Strahd finds a way to get within. At night, I've been able to keep Irina away from the windows, away from the doors, but there's only so much more I can take of this. If she so much as hears his voice, his charm will enrapture her, and she will fight tooth and nail to get outside, and one more time, and I have lost her. But the path itself, sure, it's dangerous, but if we can get to Vallaki, the church in Vallaki, it's able to ward him away. They're actually getting ready to celebrate that he can't even set foot into the village. If I can get her there, she will actually be safe.
Why?
The church within Vallaki has always had an ability to ward off evil. I'm not sure the specifics why, but everyone knows it. And if I can get her there, then Strahd will not be able to set a hand upon her, and it may even be powerful enough to break the hold he has over her. Denying him his prize is one victory, but saving my sister is really the best. It is all I truly care about.
How many days travel is it away?
2 or 3 at most, depending on the path we take. Maybe not even that much, if we are quick about it.
How many days were we in that house? I think we have to resupply.
You were 3 days in the house, so you should have 7 days worth of supplies left.
I say...
If we do this, we should go to that Bill Dratz mercantile.
Understand that Bill Dratz Mercantile, and he kind of says sarcastically, says, is the only place in town where you can get supplied. However, he knows that, so understand that you'll be paying 2 to 3 times the amount of the value of most objects you would buy there.
Oh, morally ambiguous merchant. Perfect.
Bleh.
Oh,
Let me ready a carriage. I will put what supplies I can within it, and that will help us on our journey.
What can we expect on the journey in terms of danger?
Wolves, mostly. That's why if we're in a carriage, we can fend them off a little easier. If there are any rogue Vistani, otherwise, mainly the wolves.
Oh, I'm not familiar with the area. What's a Vistani?
The Vistani are traveling people, nomads. It's difficult and complicated to describe them in whole. Many, of course, here would tell you that they are all suspect. All of them are the eyes of Strahd. They're thieves, they're beggars, they're murderers in the night. Unfortunately, things are far more complicated than that. Some Vistani absolutely are loyal to Strahd. They have some strange relationship with him. He will not harm them no matter what. But other Vistani are absolutely against him, and they understand the monster he's become. But understand this, the Vistani also know that they are completely helpless to stop him. So they will not get in our way if they are not loyal to him. The ones that are, simply watch your pockets and watch your back.
Okay.
Stab. Anyways, which one of us is the best at bartering?
I'm quite persuasive. And surely he'd give a man of the cloth a bit of discount.
Considering he's emerging in the middle of nowhere, he knows he has the only supply and is overcharging for everything, I'm gonna say no.
So, pretty much what I'll give you is whoever has the highest persuasion check can attempt to go negotiate for supplies. You'll make your roll in, you can make it openly, you don't have to use the Dragon Tower. And then it will determine how much you're able to convince him to lower the supplies. Yeah, unfortunately, even with that 19, the supplies are twice the cost they are in the player's handbook. And
20.
Still twice the cost they are in the player's handbook. That's actually a discount because normally they're 3 times the cost.
Can we try an intimidation check?
No, because he's. What are you able to do to him that this place hasn't already done?
Kill?
I don't know. Give him a blood eagle and leave him out in the open, and watch as whatever eats him alive.
Or I could put a light show on for the guy while my child friend goes scurrying and see what his pockets can carry while his eyes are drawn away.
Okay, you can attempt a thief from him if you want to play distracting, if you're going to do that.
Let's do that.
Child friend.
By the way, I'm going to punch you in the nuts later.
Me? Oh, for calling you a child. Sorry.
If you could reach his nuts.
Oh,
Punch
damn.
you in the...
Right, we'll get it. You'll kneecap him later. Anyways, so decide what you guys are going to do. You can attempt to distract him while Zalkin ninja thieves. If so, then I need someone to make me a deception check.
Oh, shit. You're the thief.
Your best bet's probably to have Berlioz do the deception check.
What am I deceiving him with?
You're just distracting him, keeping him busy while Zalkin robs him blind.
Okay, Berlioz, I've got a plan. Use my eyelessness to our advantage, call him out, and try and get help. He might be the helping sort, or at least he might be interested in the commotion.
Hey, Jeremy, can you read All Eyes on You, the feature that I took for Far Traveler? Will it be applicable here?
So, normally this is for getting into places that normally you would not be invited to. But at the same time, you're also very eccentric. So what I'll do is without Arid's incredibly elaborate plan for distracting him, I will allow you to simply go up and engage him in conversation and tell him of tales of places you have traveled and just talk his head off and keep his attention on you. So what I'll do is I'll give you advantage on a deception check. Nice. Okay. You're absolutely able to keep his attention. Zalkin, normally this guy is wily-eyed. You would normally have disadvantage to be able to steal from him because he is not stupid and he deals with Bastani. So with that being said, disadvantage cancels out advantage. Make your sleight of hand check normally.
All right.
Nice. So you move around a bit. You snag a few bits and pieces here and there. You're pretty familiar with taking what you can. You know what you can take. You know what's too much. You know what's too little. So you just kind of go around, snag a few things, and then you guys leave.
I like to think that while Berlioz and Zalkin are doing their work, I'm still outside coming up with a plan.
Yes, absolutely. You are standing there thinking of this nice, elaborate plan.
And then Ekris, you come over and you oh, you're done.
Fantastic. I kick Arid in the shin.
Nice.
Lightly.
I use pocket sand to get away. No.
Alright, so what do we get?
You have retrieved the supplies found within an explorer's pack.
Ooh.
I have dumped them into your inventory, so you actually have now a few extra bits, so feel free to share those amongst your compatriots.
Alright, so I guess we don't have to worry about rations and stuff anymore. Let's be off.
Yeah, let's set ourselves. I was going to say sail, but that's the wrong term.
How do I give things to people?
You can drag and drop it over to their portrait.
Crowbar.
I guess as we're boarding the carriage, I'd ask the brother and sister, do either of you have any combat experience?
Unfortunately, no. Ismark goes, I've been kind of groomed to be a burgomaster. We usually hire swords to do that for us.
Irene's picture literally has her holding a sword.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they have a picture of her holding a sword, because she has no combat capability whatsoever.
Great.
It's for their Instagram.
Nice! She's posing for a selfie. Okay, so you guys leave the village of Barovia.
Is this working?
Ismark has a carriage going on, and so you guys are able to... some of you are able to ride within, and then, of course, on top, and one of you alongside the driver, which is Ismark. You guys get to what he calls the Ivlis River, and it is as crystal blue as a clear blue sky. It is gorgeous, and you're able to cross the bridge for that with no particular issues.
Are we just continuing, or?
Yes, you are. Sorry, I'm just clearing out the map. So you guys eventually come to this particular area. An old wooden gallows creaks in a chill wind that blows down from the high ground to the west. A frayed length of rope dances from its beam. The well-worn road splits here, and a signpost opposite the gallows points off in 3 directions. Barovia village to the east, Serpool to the northwest, and Ravenloft/Valaki to the southwest. The northwest fork slants down and disappears into the trees, while the southwest fork clings to an upward slope. Across from the gallows, a low wall, crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves, shrouded in fog.
Should we just continue over to Valaki?
Ravenloft/Valaki.
So Ismark says, I would like to stay away from Ravenloft as much as possible. I understand I've never traveled directly to Valaki, and I know I'm just now telling you that, but I do know that the path along the Serpool does eventually reunite with the main road. And I think it might be a shortcut. If so, it might shorten our distance a bit.
Do you know if there's anywhere to bed for the night if we need to along that road?
I'm not sure, but I would rather camp along the river, which the Serpool collects to, than to do so away from it.
Insight check on this guy.
Go for it.
That's sketchy. Plus, he's never traveled before, so how does he know this is a shortcut? From what he's heard?
You get the sense that he's just kind of heard stories. You can tell that he does not truly know the way. This is unfamiliar to him. He has that concern in his voice when he talks about wanting to avoid Castle Ravenloft. So he seems genuine. And yeah, you would want to camp closer to a river than further away from it.
All right, I guess we'll go down the stair pool.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
So hey, Arid, as you guys are leaving, you're kind of sitting atop the stagecoach, and kind of your ability to see things is a little weird. But what you find odd as you guys leave behind the gallows is as the mists of your vision kind of start to cloud everything, the gallows themselves suddenly become visible again. And upon the gallows, you see a body now dangling from it. And its dead eyes just seem to watch you as you slowly drift away.
That body wasn't there before.
Oh, Arid has the best adventures in his head.
The road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the comings and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds boiling far above. There is a clearing here next to a river that widens to form a small lake several hundred feet across. 5 colorful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, its sagging form lit from within. Near this tent, 8 unbridled horses drink from the river. The mournful strains of an accordion clash with the singing of several brightly clad figures around a bonfire. A footpath continues beyond this encampment, meandering north between the river and the forest's edge.
Does anyone want to try taming one of the horses?
So you guys have reached an encampment. You actually see people around here.
Yeah, I think we should talk to what how shady do the people look from here, I guess?
So Ismark says, we've reached the Vistani encampment.
Ow.
Oddly enough, it actually might be one of the best bets for camping for the evening.
Let's have the orc run into the middle and say, Hail Satan.
Where can I get a drink around here?
That's probably a much better phrase than Hail Satan, considering who the hell is Satan?
Well, yeah, we need to check if they're friendly, but I don't think we should actually throw the orc.
I'll go volunteer as tribute.
Oh god, so we're gonna send the mage.
Sorcerer, not mage.
Apologies.
So do you guys walk up to the campfire? Do you approach the large tent?
I will attempt to hide.
I'll go with
what
the campfire.
I'm sorry, what?
You don't go to the first tent or the tent first. You go to the campfire. Say sup, how you doing? Got any mead?
So you attempt to parlay with the Vistani, join them for their festivities, and Zalkin attempts to hide in the shadows to watch and do recon.
Yep.
Okay, so Zalkin, go and roll me your stealth. Nice roll.
Good.
So you guys are easily invited to the campfire. They actually seem like a fairly friendly bunch, although Ismark and Irina stay close to the carriage. They kind of set things up to be able to sleep for the evening. And Ismark simply warns you before you head to the fire, just keep an eye on your pockets and keep an eye on your back. Otherwise, enjoy. So when you go to the fire, you do quickly find wine or mead in your hand at the moment of gesturing if they have something to drink. And amongst the singing and dancing and whatnot, at one point, one person sits down and everyone kind of falls silent and he goes into story mode. A mighty wizard came to this land over a year ago. I remember him like it was yesterday. He stood exactly where you're standing. A very charismatic man he was. He thought he could rally the people of Barovia against the devil Strahd. He stirred them with thoughts of revolt and bore them to the castle en masse. When the vampire appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled in terror. A few stood their ground and were never seen again. The wizard and the vampire cast spells at each other. Their battle flew from the courtyards of Ravenloft to a precipice overlooking the falls. I saw the battle with my own eyes. Thunder shook the mountainside, and great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard. Yet by his magic he survived. Lightning from the heavens struck the wizard, and again he stood his ground. But when the devil Strahd fell upon him, the wizard's magic couldn't save him. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death. I climbed down to the river to search for the wizard's body, to see if, he had anything of value. But the river Evelis had already spirited him away. And everyone kind of, claps and cheers and whatnot, and a few of them make jokes like, oh yeah, to see if he had anything of value. Let's just pilfer stuff off of a wizard who fought the devil Strahd. And so jokes kind of go back and forth, and one of them even looks at you, Berlioz, and says, I wouldn't be foolish enough to check your pockets, wizard.
I bet if the wizard had the Morning Lord at his back, he'd have done fine. Ha, ha, ha.
Hey, go ahead and check my pockets. Or you might find something more in them than I have.
Amongst the jeering and whatnot and bad jokes Arid's telling, a younger woman kind of steps to the side and she kind of walks over to Berlioz. And she says, excuse me, my lord, but Madame Ava will see you now.
Most excellent. Shall my companions come with me?
All of you, yes. Leave the brother and the daughter. No harm will come to them while they're within our camp.
All right. If Zalkin is still lurking about, or is he still lurking about, or still hidden?
He's hidden, but you notice she glances right over to where he's at when she mentions all of you are invited.
Oh, some bitch.
I would loudly say, all of our party will join you.
And she heads over to the large tent next to the river.
Should I come out of hiding?
Yes.
Alright.
I'm pretty sure she discovered you.
I like to think that immediately after you come out of hiding, someone just offers you a glass of mead.
Nice.
It's gonna throw a rock at Eric. Revealing.
All right, guys, this is really important. Apparently, Marilyn Manson did a cover of "Cry Little Sister" from the Lost Boys soundtrack, and it's on the New Mutants soundtrack. Just saying. Very important.
I'll be listening to that as soon as we're done with this.
I have literally, about 2 weeks ago, I showed that song to Carla for the first time ever. This excites me greatly.
Has Carla seen Lost Boys?
No, I intend to show it to her because it is on Netflix.
Do that.
Intend to? You fail if you haven't shown it to her yet.
No. She's in for a treat. It's awesome. Just go with it. Anyways, let's move on.
Plot twist, we're in Santa Barbara.
You mean Santa Carla? Murder capital.
I always get those two. Yeah, I always get those two mixed up.
I'm just dancing around with some beer or wine in my hand.
You guys make your way to the large tent next to the river. Magic flames cast a reddish glow over the interior of this tent, revealing a low table covered in a black velvet cloth. Glints of light seem to flash from a crystal ball on the table as a hunched figure peers into its depths. As the crone speaks, her voice crackles like dry weeds. "At last, you have arrived!" Cackling laughter bursts like mad lightning from her withered lips.
You were expecting us?
Of course, of course. It is known. You have come, and although it was not your purpose, you have no choice. Defeat the devil Strahd, or stay here forever.
So, how many days have you guys been here?
We are the Vistani. We have always been. Okay. She kind of sits there. She says, I tell you a little. The Vistani, we once helped Strahd a long time ago. The memory of what that is lost to history. Or should I say, currently hidden. I know this. If you can discover where that knowledge lies, it will aid you. Yes, aiding you is exactly what is needed. Quick, come in. Close curtain. And she kind of like brushes the crystal ball aside. Her assistant barely catches it and kind of moves it into a box. And she reaches over to another box somewhere else and pulls out this old deck of cards. And she says, I will not give you some fool's fortune. I will call upon all that is good. You need me, and I need you. And together, we will destroy this devil, and we will free our people from this accursed place.
Ask her what she has to offer us.
I will offer you a Taroka reading. The cards will reveal the path, reveal what you need to defeat him. Do not be like that idiot wizard. Do not just directly confront him unprepared. You need the proper weapons. You need the proper knowledge.
After telling us that some Bastani are in league with the devil himself, why should we trust you?
I understand that some of my people have lost hope. She says, I will never, ever stop my war against that fiend. My blood, my heart, my soul. I do not stand with Strahd. I am against him.
How about the rest of your people outside?
Each of us Vistani are free-willed. So, it is not just them you must worry about. It is all who fear the shadow, and those who let fear control them. Now come. And she starts laying out the cards. Face down, so you see their backs. She says, this first card. This card tells of history, knowledge of the ancient will. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. She pulls the Five of Swords, the Myrmidon.
What does it mean?
Give me a moment.
Kind of looks like a group of soldiers doing the Barovian version of Thriller.
It's amazing. It gives me the image of the card, but not what it fucking means. Give me a moment.
All melee attacks your party makes now do twice as much damage. Yeah.
Okay. Here's what it is. She says, this piece of history, the thing you seek, lies with the dead under mountains of gold coins.
Calm down, Zolkin. What we want is below the coins, not the coins themselves.
Speak for yourself.
If you encountered a mountain of gold coins, what would you do with it? It's not like you could pick the mountain up and walk off with it. Take what you can carry, what you need, and move on. The real treasure lies beneath it.
Still need gold coins.
So then
What is beneath it?
she goes, the next card. This card tells of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. She pulls up the 6 of stars, the evoker. Search for the crypt of a wizard ordinaire. His staff is the key.
Where is the script?
She goes, that I do not know. The cards reveal what they can, but like all fortunes, you will understand them better when you encounter what they are meant to be. But what I will tell you is do not confront the devil without that symbol. This is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight.
Praise the morning, Lord.
Oh, he did that shit.
She pulls the 7 of coins, the thief.
What?
What you seek lies at the crossroads of life and death, among the buried dead.
So now we're grave robbing.
You need to find a graveyard at the crossroads.
We've already passed a crossroads with a graveyard.
Then maybe return to it when you can.
I was gonna make a joke of who wants to dig up some graves, but I didn't think we were gonna actually do it.
Wait, we also saw. Well, I also saw a hanging body from a gallows that suddenly appeared.
You have been touched by the dark powers of this land. They will taunt your sanity until it breaks.
Oh, great.
She says it so like matter-of-factly. Now, we must proceed. She flips over the 4th card. This card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against the darkness.
Praise the morning, Lord.
The Raven.
Nevermore.
So the Raven is what we need to battle the darkness.
One moment. says, find the leader of the feathered ones who live among the vines. Though old, he has one more fight left in him.
Leader of the feather. Somebody who has birds.
Someone who has birds. You are funny.
Wait, what did the...
She flips over the last card. Your enemy is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. This is where you must confront him to win. Any other place, and you will lose. Do you understand?
Yes.
He lurks in the darkness, where the morning light once shone, a sacred place.
Got a skull in a jar.
I feel like this leads us to the Church of the Lucky.
No, you will confront him in his castle. That is where the last battle will be. It's somewhere with him there. Any encounters you have with him outside, just try to survive and get away. Do not think you can defeat him anywhere else.
Oh.
So just his castle.
Where all the dead adventurers go.
Yeah, that's the place.
Alright.
Sorry, I'm just saving this information.
Alright.
Okay, so I'll finish all that later. So you guys are able to finish your merriment amongst the Vistani, but her words kind of stick in your head the remainder of the evening. She's giving you some very powerful information. Now the question is do you want to leave Irina and Ismark here and double back to the crossroads, or do you want to continue escorting them to Vallaki and come back afterwards?
I doubt that a grave is going to go anywhere. I'd say we probably get Irina to safety first.
And come back to the crossroads.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that too, but part of me wonders if something else will disturb that grave in the meantime.
Arid, I just gave you an inspiration for that particular bit of valor. Unfortunately, Berlioz, as the realist and party pessimist, you bring up an incredibly valid point. It's a risk you guys will just simply have to take.
Alright. Well, we seem to be pretty much agreed. Let's take him to safety first.
We should probably discuss it with them as well. I mean, they may be willing to give us, say, their horses from the carriage so they can get back faster?
He is absolutely willing to allow you to use the horses once they get to Vallaki, to make your journey. But yeah, he absolutely recommends let's get to Vallaki first and not be distracted by fortune tellers.
Also, she did say that our good pal, the Devil Strahd, made us, drop by unannounced. Probably best if, as she says, run away, do our best to get away from this guy. And by the sound of things, Vallaki and its church is a pretty safe place.
Alright.
So you follow the river the next morning to the base of a canyon, at the far end of which a great waterfall spills into a pool, billowing forth clouds of cold mist, and a great stone bridge spans the canyon nearly 1,000 feet overhead. So you guys are able to make your way, and there's that's interesting. It does say the bridge is 1,000 feet overhead. We're going to just fudge that a little bit. From here, you guys are actually able to reconnect with the main road. And as you can see on the map, you pass the bridge. What we'll say is you actually follow the river to the falls itself, up some old trails. It's a bit hazardous, but you're able to find a way kind of back up and around over to the main road with that carriage, and then across the bridge.
Hey, Jeremy, I don't think I have the map up anymore.
If you go into maps, you can grab it from there.
There we go.
Reshared it. That's fine.
Perfect.
So when you guys get here, you kind of continue following the river, making your way kind of up here a little bit, and then back around to the main road, then back around to the main road here, and then kind of follow it up. The fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you. Ahead, jutting from the impenetrable woods on both sides of the road, are high stone buttresses looming gray in the fog. Huge iron gates hang on the stonework. Dew clings with cold tenacity to the rusted bars. Two headless statues of armed guardians flank the gate, their heads now lying amongst the weeds at their feet. They greet you only with silence. And then
Let's
you guys
see.
have to move beyond.
Behind us. Alright, so we gotta move forward.
So as you get to this area of the path, just kind of a bit more of a FYI. Off in the distance where the path seems to split off and dead end, what that is you see a large windmill off in the distance. And you're kind of reminded of something.
What are we reminded of?
When you guys were in the death house, there was a deed to a windmill.
Why, yes, I kept it. It's in my inventory, and I was looking at it earlier.
So, just kind of an area of note later on.
It belongs to Berlioz now.
No, it belonged to the people that died in that house.
The path continues to twist and turn along the edge of the mountains. as you make your way further into the forest. Off in the distance, you do see a bit of a great lake. And then continue following the road.
And looks like we've arrived at the town.
The old Svalak road meanders into a valley watched over by dark, brooding mountains to the north and south. The woods recede, revealing a sullen mountain berg surrounded by a wooden palisade. Thick fog presses up against this wall as though looking for a way inside, hoping to catch the town aslumber. The dirt road ends at a set of sturdy iron gates, with a pair of shadowy figures standing behind them. Planted in the ground and flanking the road outside the gates are a half-dozen pikes with wolves' heads impaled on them.
Seems friendly.
That's badass. That's some good wolf hunting right there. Werewolf hunting.
Either way, it is during the day, and the guards open the gates at the approaching carriage. They kind of glance and look in, and they're like, "Your business?" And Ismark says, "It's just me and my sister. We are from Barovia. We seek the church." And, of course, please come in. And they allow you guys within the village.
Awesome.
On that
That
note,
was easy.
we are going to go ahead and pause for the evening. However, I know we didn't do any combat this game. It was more just kind of setting a few things up, giving you a feel for the campaign a bit, and inserting you guys into the plot somewhat. But we'll pick up in Vallaki in the next game as you guys go to the church and attempt to find sanctuary for poor Irina. Any questions, comments, constructive criticisms?
That was great.
Yeah, I like it. A lot of story.
Right. Are we good to do this again next week?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yep.
How much longer are we keeping you kidnapped on this side of the pond, Dominic?
I'm going to be here until the 6th of July. So
That's next Friday.
Soon.
I am going to be able to attend, unlike my friend, I am going to be able to attend classes while I'm on the other side of the pond, though. I am nocturnal when I'm in England.
We should do the next one in person.
But
I'll
what
bring
time would
guacamole.
we do it since it's 8 hours more over there?
No, he's saying the third, the game we do on the 3rd would be the last one we could do in person.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm down to.
Sounds good. I'm off the next day, so.
Right.
All right.
Oh yeah, July 4th.
Where do we wish to do this game?
Does it have to be at somebody's house or?
Yes. Well, someplace where we can frolic and have a table and do things.
I've actually found a place that it's a game store that allows you to do that kind of thing.
What's the name of it?
Oh my god, I've got it in my phone. Hang on a sec.
Natural 20?
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
they charge either, huh?
Yeah, it's Natural 20.
Okay, I'm familiar with Natural 20. They're a good store. I like them. So
John.
as long as they're not, busy, that's perfectly fine. I would recommend
Oh, yeah, that's
that we
right.
have a secondary fallback place in case they have something planned for that night. Because if we show up and they're doing an impromptu magic tournament or something like that, we're not going to have the room or the peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
One thing to consider with how we normally been starting like at 7 and 7:30, we've got to make sure of how late the store is open if we do that. Otherwise, maybe we need to host it like over at my place or whatever.
I'd be better over at your place, Joe, just because that's a guarantee and we're not dealing with the uncertainty of how late the store is going to be open, etc. Especially since we have to start at 7:30 because of Carla.
That works for me.
I'm cool with it.
Are you okay with that, Joe?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
Tanner will be good too. He's been upset with me for not giving him space around my computer to lay out at.
Nice, nice. All right, so next week I will not be streaming the game online, unless I can find some way to record our live session. But otherwise, we'll meet up over at Joe's house at 7:30 and see what Valaki has to offer you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, and ha 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 ha. Jeremy, if you show up earlier, I need to hang a mirror.
Okay, yeah, I can help you with that. All right, guys. I hope you all had fun. You have a wonderful evening, and I will record. I'll record all of the card readings and what those meant.
I've got them written down, don't worry.
It'll be in the notes section once I'm done, though.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
See you later, everybody.
Later.